how do we as a college community talk about these issues, recognizing that there are multiple perspectives as it relates to the election. There's some who are very concerned about the outcome and are wondering what the implications are for them, particularly our students who are dreamers. I've heard from them already. I've heard from some of our Muslim students who are very concerned. Students who have a strong commitment to social justice are very concerned about the implications. So I hear a lot of those students contact. I also hear from folks who are saying, you know what, this is a political reality that we embraced, and as a result of that, how do we also ensure that an academic organization such as our own provide space for both of those conversations and probably others to accompany. I think the short answer for me is that I think Montgomery College has to keep doing what we do very well. We are always practicing radical inclusion. And the reality about that is that radical inclusion means you create space for multiple dialogues, even the ones that make you uncomfortable, right? So I think about this for my own son. He has become a political beast in the last year. I mean, this is a kid who watched every debate with me at dinner table, wanted to have, and then the day after the election, she said, "Oh my God, Luann Bennett lost too?" This is what he said, right? We kind of looked at like, Luann Bennett. I'm like, oh, that's Virginia. But he has been, we live in Maryland, right here. So, but he's been watching the commercials, and he's like, oh my God. So but it was deeply personal for him, deeply personal, because a year ago in his class, and some of you have heard me tell this story, he came home and he was troubled. And all of us think we have brilliant children, and I have no doubt that everybody's child is. But what I know about my child, he may not be brilliant, but he is compassionate. He's a kind boy. And he was so troubled. He came and he said, Mama, and he just, his temperament, he had tears in his eyes. I said, what's wrong? He said, Muhammad says he may not be able to come back to school, right? And he tells me about Muhammad, who had just moved here from Egypt not too long ago, who's a practicing Muslim, and his family, and he was very concerned that Muhammad may not be able to come back to school. And right next, and he says, and we're talking about Muhammad, and then Maria tells us her story, that she's afraid that she's not going to, because her family's not supposed to be here, right? And he said, why would somebody not want them here? These are my friends. And his spirit was troubled. So at that moment, he became a political activist. I have no doubt that my child is going to become some type of activist, because that was those defining moments. So I'm very curious to see what the next generation is going to be called because of this. These are these moments. But what I realize as a parent, and what I think we have to do for our students, is to create safe conversation spaces to talk about them. But here, more importantly, also how to do that with our students and with our employees, because people are hungry for a place to understand how to interpret what happened. So what's happening in the classrooms? I know a lot of faculty actually dedicated their first couple of class sessions after the election to talk about that and to give the disciplinary context that they could for that. I know that we've had, I've walked past a couple of our open spaces and seeing students sitting down with faculty and staff talking about this and really talking about it. I teach a seminar. I know today I'm going to have to spend some time giving them spaces because it's on activism. So I know I got a whole bunch of little activists up in my class who want to actually figure out how to become engaged. So as I think as a college community, several things we can do: create public forums for these types of conversations, use our classroom time where appropriate to do that, rely on our student affairs and student services and student life people to help us create more out-of-classroom conversations for that. Engage in community dialogue, because what I know for sure, if anybody can help heal the community, it will be the community college. We're the place where all these things have happened before. Every time somebody new has come into our community, we've been there to help respond. Anytime there's been an economic struggle in our community, we have been a part to respond. So if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be us. But we have to have courage, we have to have civility, and we have to be willing to be vulnerable on this and realize that we are different perspectives, but we have to create space for all of that to happen. I love the idea of trying to figure out some other things. Now, maybe I'll talk with one. I think there's some legal things we need to be very thoughtful about, so I can have legal counsel put something together as well. And then I'll also, and to be, there will be student activism. We got through it in the 60s and 70s. We'll get through it in the what year are we in? 16, right? So it's going to happen. So I think there's a part of that, and that's a part of their experience.